Peace, peace, everyone. Today is November 10th, 2023. My name is Jasmine, and this is my journal entry for today. I hope all is well with everyone. Everything is well with me. Life is still lifing. Kids are still being kids. Relationship is still relationshiping. Everything's going good. Um, Still working, finishing up a few projects. And that's just been my focus lately. So I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about a new project I started. It is a new podcast called the Strength of Continuance podcast. Now, I have for the life of myself, I have been trying to figure out what I knew that there was something that I wanted to do or that I needed to do, but I just could not quite figure out what it was. And most of my podcasts and stuff like that, they're usually aimed towards the spiritual community, but lately I've just been asking myself exactly what is the spiritual community, because it's so broad. It is because it spirituality encompasses everything, because we're spiritual beings living a human experience. Everything is spiritual. So my issue with the quote spiritual community unquote is, number one, um it's a lot of people up in here scamming. It's a lot of people up here lying to people. There's a lot of people misguiding and misdirecting people. And it's a lot of people just kind of taking advantage of the purpose of the journey for other people. So the first thing in mind that I wanted to do was to just say forget it and give up and just continue working as a nurse and just continue to work on my own personal growth and not kind of worry about other people. So I've been praying on it a lot. I mean, even stopping the readings, because nowadays the it's to me it's a joke, and also um I had went through a period where I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like my style of reading or who I am as an individual didn't necessarily fit into the market. So I was reading this book. It's a series. It's like a paranormal romance series. And you know me, I could pull wisdom from everywhere. It's called the Meredith Gentry series. They're really good books. They spicy. Ooh, they spicy, y'all. But anyhow, in the series, there's this goddess that helps this princess out. There are they're fairies. They call themselves the Sadi and or Side. And there's this goddess in there, and she gave this princess all of these powers. And with her powers, she was able to bring other people into their powers, because Fairy was losing his magic and she was bringing magic back to Fairy. Well, the people that lived in this fairyland, they wasn't appreciative of her magic. Some of them were plotting to kill her. Some of them were plotting against her. Some of them turned against her. And the goddess was like, you know what? Since they're not appreciating what I'm bringing to you, take your magic elsewhere. Now, look, y'all. So she packed up her stuff and her bodyguards and she moved back to the big city with mundane people, everyday people. And she, she went where she was guided. Now, look, in no way, shape, and form am I sitting on here telling y'all that I'm chosen to do anything, because that's not how I view myself. I don't feel like I'm chosen to do anything. I just know that I'm here to do something. So, what I decided to do was do what I do every day and talk to everyday people. And what I mean by that is that I feel like the way we operate in this lifetime, everything is all encompassing. So, yes, on the day to day, um, I have my spiritual practices that I do, But I also have stuff that I have to do in real life as well. And I feel like some people in the spiritual community, they avoid it. And sometimes, since they avoid it, people can be misdirected. Like as a healthcare professional, never will I not tell a woman with lumps in her breast not to go get her breast looked at because I'm spiritual. And I'm not going to tell her go to the woods and pray to some deity. You know what I mean? I might give her some spiritual work to do, but I'm also going to advise her to go get it looked at. You know what I mean? I know everybody's not a fan of westernized medicine or anything like that. And I'm not a fan of all of it either. I'm not a fan of the big pharma and all these drugs. I do think we're over medicating as a country, but I still think that we can take advantage of some of the practices and some of the diagnostic testing. And I think it's important just to be aware of what's in your blood, what's going on in your body, how your body is functioning, the science part of it. But I also believe, on the other hand, that the spiritual facts of it work, and things have been proven. Meditation has been proven to not only help you spiritually, but also help medically, reduce stress, reduce blood pressure, or how practicing art has been known to, you know, reduce, acts of disease in the body. You know what I'm saying? Um, or like how meditation and certain, yoga and stuff like that can help reduce blood pressure, or reduce blood sugar. So, just reducing overall stress levels in the body, because we all know that stress causes dis-ease. But I also know that there's success in the other things too. So, my point of starting the Strength of Continuance podcast is to basically not only spearhead my energy towards the spiritual community, but to spearhead my energy towards everybody. And when I say everybody, I mean everyday people. You know, I want to talk to this woman over here who was homeless and she worked hard and built her own business. I want to talk to the man that was shot several times and survived it and lost everything and had to come back. What did he do? What steps did he take? I want to talk to the people who felt suicidal or depressed at one time, or people with sick or ill children, or people that lost children, or people that lost family members, or people that went through things, people that life. Because even spiritual people go through things through life. My issue with some people, and not all, is that, you know, it's a lot of avoidance, instead of dealing with your problems head on. I think they use spirituality as a crutch to um, not deal with everyday things. And I've seen it before. I've known people who, they desire money and they desire businesses, and what they do is they sit in the house all day, look at vision boards, listen to podcasts, and pray and meditate. I mean, like, but what work are you doing to open up to allow your abundance to flow through? What are you doing every day towards that goal? Like, what's your plan? So I think that, everything that you want to manifest, it needs a logical plan. And yes, people do get lucky. Yes, I get money from out of nowhere all the time. I be getting checks in the mail. I don't know where they came from. People will just give me money. People will gift me. People will say they owe me money that I forgot. I get money from everywhere. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But with success, like, what goals are you doing? Like, what are you doing to get towards those steps? So the purpose of the Strength of Continuance podcast is to learn from other people. How did they get to where they are now? What work did they do? What spiritual work did they do? What everyday work did they do? What did they have to go through to get to the place they are in their life right now? Because I think that having a balance between staying grounded and being present and being spiritual are extremely important. So, my first episode will be aired on November 23rd. We already shot the episode. It's with a good friend of mine. Her name is Shelby. Shelby was an educator, still an educator, very much so, who has a significant history of she been through a lot. And because of that, she used it to drive her passion, which is mental wellness, and she started her own company. So I spoke to her. We spoke for about a little, maybe about an hour and a half. So it's a long episode, but the jewels in this episode are amazing, and she's amazing. So I look forward to that episode coming out on November um 23rd. So tune in. They're pre-recorded, so I've got some good episodes coming up. Like, I've already got my schedule is booking up fast, and I've got people excited to come on, which is good because at first when I started Jasmine's Journal, I started interviewing people. People were hesitant to come on, but now I've got people actually excited to participate in this, and I look forward to doing it. I'm doing work with it every day. So every day I'm scheduling people, I'm making flyers, I'm making sure my setup is good, just doing things of that nature. I just love to help and talk to people. And you learn from other people too. Now, Jasmine's Journal is still going to be going. We've been over a year now, over a year and a half now. So we still gonna go. Y'all still gonna hear all my business. And I like telling my business too. So my boyfriend, everybody who follows me on Facebook and Instagram, they know that I nicknamed him Deborah's son. We're doing pretty good. So I think I'm gonna have him come on, because he's got quite the story to tell too. So I'll be looking forward to that. I guess next time he's in town. I tried to kidnap him. I held him hostage for about a week, but he managed to escape. Matter of fact, I held him hostage for, let me see, Friday, 10 days. I had him hostage for 10 days. But he got away. So I put out an ABP for him. So I'm hoping to get him back soon. If not, I'm gonna have to drive up there. I plan to drive up there maybe the just I don't know. It'll be soon though. I'm trying. I let this connection flow how it flows. If he wants to see me, we'll plan to see each other. But we just decided to just move how we felt like moving. There's no rushing nothing, or there's no moving nothing. Um, we have been studying, healthy. The last episode I did on healthy conflict, that came from a conversation I had with him, and it wasn't an argument, but it was okay. It was, I think it was a question that our relationships should ask each other. Like, how do you handle conflict? I think that's very important. So we were just talking about how to handle conflict in a healthy way. When you disagree, and it was a good conversation. And then I had that conversation with my friend, and that's what led me to do that episode on healthy conflict. I did it on November 2nd. So if you can go back and listen to it, I think I found some jewels. I read a lot of articles, and I found some jewels that I had posted on that episode. I spoke about on that episode. So we did that. We're planning our next trip. I think we got a lot coming up in February. My friend's birthday is February 9th. Her party's in Atlanta, so we're going to go down to Atlanta for that. And then his brother's birthday is in February, so we'll be probably headed to New Orleans. His brother wants to celebrate his birthday in New Orleans, so we'll probably be going there. So I look forward to that. So, good things coming up with him. No issues there. Well, I mean, everybody got shit, but we all right. We good. Kids are doing great. My 18-year-old son, I'm proud of him. He's been in school, and he passed his midterm with an A. To know him is to understand he was born with a disability. I was told he had mental retardation and that he would never, walk or do anything. And now he is, playing basketball. He's in college. He's getting good grades, and he's becoming more responsible. I'm very proud of him. My other son is at Cal State in Fullerton, and he is doing his thing. He had a game on the 6th. He put up 13 points. He had a good game. They lost though, but he did good for him to be coming back off of I think this was his first game back after an injury where he had to have two surgeries on his wrist. So I'm definitely, definitely proud of him. Um, my daughter and her grandbabies are doing good. Y'all, my 14-year-old had a date last night. So, girl. So we went to urban air so the kids can play. And my 14-year-old came back and she said, three boys, three boys, three. When I was 14 years old, I was hideous to boys, but her little chocolate self, she's just beautiful. She's so classy. She's so feminine and soft. And I don't know how I was like a boy, but all my daughters are so soft and feminine. But anyhow, she came up to me and she said, my three boys asked me for my number. And I said, oh, okay. And she was like, I gave my number to one of them because he was closer to my age. The other boys were like 17 and this one was like 15. He was close to her age. So when me and their father talked, we knew the day would come where she would like boys or girls or whatever. And we decided to, you know, y'all talk to y'all kids. So we started talking to her early about, self respect, honoring yourself, making good choices. Me and her dad both, we participate with, talking with her. Her dad he is intentionally parenting her to show her how she should be treated, by males or females or whoever she's dating, what respect looks like. Things that we didn't have growing up, and things, unfortunately, I didn't teach my older daughter, even though she does well with herself. Just self-respect, and to know when to walk away and to recognize signs when you're being mistreated and stuff like that. But we also decided to set a safe space where she can come talk to us, and if she wanted to, go out on a date or go to the movies or hang out with a boy, how we would handle that. And the day came. She came to me and she said, he wants to take me to the movies. And I'm like, shoot. So I go to her dad and I'm like, hey, this little boy, when he get off of work, he want to take her to the movies. And he was like, ugh, she growing up too fast, right? So I was like, you know what? I'll take the first one. So we set her down. We was like, yeah, we gave her some rules. I got an app on my phone where I track her every moment. I told her I'm gonna be watching her like a hawk. She got to check in. I wanted to go in the movies with them and sit down and watch the movie. They dad said that might be too much. Her dad was like, "No, you ain't gotta do that, but just make sure she checking in and you talking to her." So I was like, "Okay." And of course, meet the boy. So I took her to the movies. I met the little boy, well spoken, nice little boy, nice family. Go to private school. I think he got like 6 or 7 siblings. It's like 8 of them, which we're used to. It's like five. I got 5 kids, and then I raised 3 other kids. I didn't raise them, but my ex, he had 3 kids outside of me, and I was like, they came over a lot, so we're used to having a household full of siblings. So I met him. I gave him my ground rules. I was nice but stern, and then I let them go to the movies, and I picked her up, and she had fun. So it turned out really good. And also, because and also I applaud him because nowadays these boys, these men, they don't want to date. And when I was single, that was my problem because being courted, that's important to me. Like, if you ain't trying to take me out, I ain't trying to marry you like that. So for him to say, hey, I want to take you to the movies, you know what I mean? Or actually, to be 15 or 16 and intentionally planning, dates with her, like, I think, and he works. And he's like, I think they told me when I picked her up, like he wants to take her out to eat, to get pizza, and they want to go to some type of arcade somewhere, but just planning stuff, so I think it's pretty dope. But I tell you, I watched her like a hawk. She came back in one piece. She had fun. She was kind of disappointed in the movie because she thought it was gonna be better than it was. Cool. So I'm going to keep, actively talking to her and letting her come to me, with things that she feels comfortable with. But it does get kind of nerve wracking and because my oldest daughter, she was a teenage parent like I was, and I do not want her to follow those same footsteps. I want her to be the one to break that barrier. Because if you think about it, my mother didn't get pregnant as a teenager. She had my brother when she was 23, but my grandmother had her first child at 17. I had my first kid at 17. My daughter had her first kid at 17. You know what I mean? I parented them differently because when you know better, you do better, so that they don't make the same mistakes. Now, of course, you don't always have control over the decisions that they make, but you can surely try. So I've been trying. And anyhow, that's that. Um, we had me and Deborah's son. We had date night last week, and we had two date nights in a row, and we hung out with my 21-year-old daughter and her boyfriend, which was the first time I ever went out with her. And she's been asking me for years, but I decided to intentionally just to kick it with my kids more. I'm still working on getting an 18-year-old on board. He has a girlfriend. We ain't there yet, but the 21-year-old, she don't mind kicking it with me. The 23-year-old, he don't mind kicking it with me. Me and an 18-year-old, I think we need therapy. We getting there, and some people can agree. This real life, and y'all could judge me if y'all want to, but everybody got that one kid. He's my one kid. we just be, he's the one. But anyhow, the first night we went, where did we go? We went bowling, and then we got some food. We had some pizza, and we had a really good time. And then after that, we go to the bar and get drinks. Yeah, we went to the bar, a local bar, and we had a few drinks. We kicked it and listened to music. They smoked. I'm not a smoker like that, but they all smoked. My daughter smokes. Her boyfriend smokes. Deborah's son, he definitely smoked. They smoked, and we kicked it and listened to the music on the patio at the bar. Then we came back home. The next day, we just decided to go hang out, and we went bar hopping. We had some drinks. We danced a little bit. Deborah's son almost got into a little altercation. I'm happy I calmed him down. Um, I calmed him down, so he went outside for a minute to cool down. He came back in, but the guy that he almost got into it with was just starting with everybody. And needless to say, but before the night ended, dude got his butt kicked by somebody else. So we left. We left the bar after dude. He got his butt handed to him. I mean, and he had made so many people mad. Like when the guy was on top of him, pummeling, like punching him in the face and stuff. People was just walking by, kicking him because he was just pissing everybody off. He made Deborah's son mad. He made everybody mad. People just kicking him, walking out the door. Like he was drunk. He was belligerent, and he was just pissing everybody off. So when we got back to the car, Deborah's son was like, I always tell him to watch his thoughts. Because we talk a lot about spirituality. We talk about religion because he does like to read the Bible. I read it with him because there's a lot of jewels in there. I read it with him because there's a lot of jewels in there. And plus, I like the Bible. There's a lot of wisdom in there. So, I was talking to him about watching his thoughts and about how powerful the mind is. And I told him, I said, you can manifest a lot with your thoughts, even negative things. So I said, just be careful what you're thinking, especially when you're thinking ill of somebody or you're thinking about wanting somebody to get hurt. You don't want to wish harm on somebody. So I always try to redirect your thoughts. You know what I mean? Me and him talk about that a lot. I just feel like his mind is powerful. He's very, very, very intuitive. It's almost scary. Like, it's like a me being around a me. Like, I got mad at him the other day because his communication sucks. I think I told you that, but he knew it too. I didn't even get a chance to tell him I was mad. Like, I just, cause me, I try to stew in stuff before I respond. So I was stewing in it, before I speak about it. Cause I want to make sure it's not, I want to make sure, even though everything's a me thing, I want to make sure, okay, is he communicating poorly or am I triggered by something? That's what I have to ask myself. And, he called me and he was like, hey, he called me wifey. He was like, hey, wifey. He always called me wifey, and he says, you know what? One day I'm gonna drop that Y off, you know, hyping my head and stuff. Don't be playing with me, boy. Don't be playing with me. But anyhow, he called me and he was like, I feel like I haven't been calling you like I should since I left. And he was like, I apologize for that because you did say to me you wanted me to work on my communication. And I'm sitting here like, this motherfucker, is you in my head or what? But it's very intuitive. But anyhow, back to the story. When we got to the car and we sat in the car, he was like, now I understand why you told me to watch my thoughts. I was like, why? He's like, because when I was in the bar and that dude did whatever he did, I'm not gonna say what it was. He was like, I was filled with rage. And he said, if I wasn't with you, I probably would have got a hold of him. So he was like, I was just filled with so much anger. I wanted something bad to happen to him so bad. He said, I wanted to beat him up so bad. I just wanted somebody to beat him up so bad. And he said, like, the rage was so strong. I felt it, like, and when he got mad, I do recall like looking at him. I mean, he was gone. Like his pupils were dilated. He was still, he was quiet. His mouth was clenched shut tight. I said, baby, this ain't the place. This ain't the place. I said, you in Cincinnati, number one. They don't like Cleveland. Cleveland don't like Cincinnati. You ain't about to be in jail on the weekend with a whole bunch of people from Cincinnati. It ain't gonna be pretty. And I said, and number two, I ain't got no bond money. So I'm gonna need you to calm down and step outside to take a breath. He sat there quietly for at least 2, 3 minutes and he looked down at me and he was like, you're right. He took a deep breath and he was like, you're right. I'm gonna go step outside for a minute. But he felt like, he felt like his thoughts manifested, because they beat the hell out that dude. It was almost sad, but he felt like his negative thoughts could have very well manifested that man getting hurt, and he ain't like that, even though he was going to do it. Yeah, I'm confused too, y'all, but it is what it is. Let that man process how he process. But the power of your thoughts, like, and one thing I've learned to do is to watch what I be thinking, because thinking, I call it stinking thinking. Stinking thinking can get you in a lot of situations, and some people, we just have powerful minds, and we don't want to will anything that we don't want to happen. So you got to watch your thoughts, and you have to watch the words that come out your mouth. You know what I mean? I have a friend, she wants to be loved. She wants to be in a loving relationship. But out of her mouth is always, don't no man want me. They only want to have sex with me. Don't nobody want me. Don't nobody want to love me. She says it repeatedly every single day. And then she wonders why, those are the type of relationships that she is attracting into her life. And like I told her, I said, you're speaking it. You know what I mean? You're speaking it. Those are the words that you were speaking out here into the universe. It's that's all people want from you. So that's all you getting. You know what I mean? So changing the way you think and changing the words that come out of your mouth are um, extremely important when it comes to things like manifesting what you want in your life. Speak worthiness into your life. Speak power. Speak love, especially love for yourself. That's why I tell y'all every episode to look in the mirror and tell yourself you love yourself, because you're putting that out there with your words, and say it out loud. What y'all think prayer is? When you sit down and you pray every day for things to go into your life accordingly, or you pray for gratitude, or you pray for someone ill to feel better, you're speaking that. So what difference is it if you're not speaking positively, positively speaking things into your life or the life of others? You know what I mean? Even when that man was in a bar and he was cutting up, and I understand how somebody could have wanted something to happen or something ill to happen, but I knew better. I saw a man who was struggling that day, so he was intoxicated. So he had some troubles. Name one time in your life you didn't feel low, or you didn't have issues, or you didn't have trouble, or you didn't go through anything, or you didn't have a bad day, so you wanted to have a drink to feel better. There's a lot of you that smoke bud. How many times have you had a stressful day at work and you wanted to go home and light up? So you was a little snippy at work. People have their days, but just because a person has a bad day, or they're going through a bad period, that doesn't make that who they are. That's not who they are as a whole. Now look, if somebody puts their hands on you, you have the right to protect yourself. Like if we were in that bar and that man would have put his hands on Deborah's son or made a threat to Deborah's son, I wasn't stopping Deborah's son from doing what he needed to do. And Deborah's son is military trained, and he can get down. But um it wasn't that type of threat. It was more like a disrespect. And I told him I felt like if you would have responded to that disrespect, that tells me that a part of you believes or receives the disrespect that that man gave you. So it was also an opportunity to learn something. With that being said, I hope all is well. Please tune in November 23rd to my first episode of the Strength of Continuous podcast. I'm excited about this. I got a lot of great people coming on. Again, love yourselves 11 times in the morning. I love you in the mirror 11 times at night. I love you in the mirror. Take yourself out on a date. Buy that outfit you want. Get your hair and your nails done. Get your hair cut. Whatever makes you feel good. Make love. Make love to yourself. Whatever you want to do. Do what feels great for you and do what's best for you. The question is, do you know what's best for you? Anyhow, that's another episode for another day. Peace.